Welcome to this VCF Techcon video, Unlock Your Potential with VMware Role-Based Certifications by Eric Sloof. Yes, my name is Eric Sloof. I'm from the Netherlands. I'm working at Atos at the moment, and at Atos we are managing a private cloud fully based on a VMware by Broadcom technology for the Dutch police. And we are in the process of bringing this cloud to VCF 9. I'm also a VMware Certified Instructor. In fact, I was the Instructor of the Year in 2023 in EMEA. One of my specialisms is NSX. NSX, by the way, will be renamed to the Network Manager in VCF. But that's something different. You can visit my website at www.ntpro.nl. So enough about me. Let's look at the agenda. So in this video I will tell you something about free training courses and free licenses. We will look at the VMware certification path. We will look at the new accreditations and certifications. And of course, the VCAPs are back, 11 VCAPs in total. We will look at an announcement for the new VMware Distinguished Expert, how to become a Broadcom Knight, and also how AI is reshaping exam preparation. Interesting topics, so let's kick off with Module 1, free training and licenses. When you go to the Broadcom education portal, there is free training available. There are core technical skills, so you can subscribe to those training courses, you can follow them online, and there is also complimentary VCF training entitlement where there is on-demand content. So you will see an instructor in a video going through a slide deck and showing you demos about operations, automation, vSphere, vSAN, NSX. All the courses are available. It's an extensive catalog, and you have guided labs. So it means that the instructor will demo the labs for you. If you want to do hands-on, you can always go to the hands-on labs online. They're free, and you can get access to the products running in a lab environment. That's a good combination for these digital learning experiences. There is also an instructor-led training, and it's actually an online training or an in-company training led by a VCF certified instructor like me. I already delivered the VCF training course once, and it's a 5-day training course. You can ask questions, you have more interaction with your instructor, and the benefit of these training courses is that they have live labs. So you get a lab environment exclusively for you, and this is where you have to complete all the laboratory exercises. It's a real lab environment. Though these training courses are also offered for free by Broadcom. So you can subscribe to those training courses. You don't have to pay anything. I deliver that training course and you have a week of fun. So those are the free training courses that can be completed through the learning portal at Broadcom. You can also do an exam, and once you pass the exam, you get free licenses. So when you are not a VMware member, you get a 32 core license for 1 year, vSphere Standard Edition. If you are a VMware member, a VMware User Group member, you get 120 cores for 3 years, and as an add-on you get the VMware Firewall Advanced Threat Protection. And that's the extra license you need to for instance host the distributed firewall, and you get 12 units of the AV load balancer. So the other benefit of VMware Advantage is that you get 50% discount on exams. And for instance, there is an event in March 2026 in Amsterdam, the VMware Connect. And when you buy an entry ticket for that event, you get 50 euros discount on the price. So that's definitely worth to become a VMware Advantage member. Certifications can be done without training. So if you have something like I have enough knowledge, I don't want to do the training course, I'm just go for the exam, it's fine. Training courses are not mandatory anymore. You can do the exam when you wish. The new certification path from VMware by Broadcom is more aimed at roles. Professional roles. Architect, implement or support roles are the roles that are tied to the specific exams. So if you want to become an architect, you have to start with the VCP VCF architect exam. If you want to pass this exam, you can do the VMware Cloud Foundation Solutions Architecture and Design training course. It's a 5-day training course. It's an interesting training course. It's full of design decisions, conceptual, logical, physical design, constraints, risks, business goals, everything is in there, and it's very technical. So that training course is definitely a good way to prepare yourself for this architect exam. I passed this exam in Frankfurt at the VMware Explore in Frankfurt, and it's a tough exam, but it's doable. So that's if you want to become an architect. If you are more in the implement role, the administrator role, you can go for the VCP VCF administrator exam. And to prepare yourself for this exam, you can do the VMware Cloud Foundation Build, Manage and Secure training course. That's the one I already delivered. It's a full 5 days, so don't expect to stop at 3 o'clock. It will go till 5 o'clock as a minimum, even on Friday. And you also have to, or you can attend the VMware Cloud Foundation Automate and Operate training course. And you will have questions from Automate and Operate in your exam. So don't underestimate this exam. Don't think, oh, it's an administrator exam. I know a lot about vSphere and vSAN and NSX. I will pass it. No, you don't. I passed the exam and you will get questions about automations and operations. You can also go for the VCF support exam, and this is tied to the VMware Cloud Foundation Troubleshooting training course. And if you have followed that training course, it's also very detailed. You get labs where problems are introduced and you have to fix those problems. And if you have completed that training course, you should be able to pass that exam. If you're not into automation or NSX, you can choose the VVF track. This is the vSphere Foundation instead of Cloud Foundation. Those are the yellow exams on the left, and there is a VVF administrator and a VVF support. But you don't get any questions on NSX or automation. It's simply tied to vSphere, vSAN and operations and login side. And there are 2 exams available for the vSphere Foundation tracks also. Okay, so those are the VMware Certified Professional exams. Role focused, architect, implement and support. If you have passed the VCP exam, you can go to a higher level, the VMware Certified Advanced Professional. Advanced skills, real world experience. So it's a high level credential. It goes beyond the VMware Certified Professional. A deep specialization, design, deploy, troubleshooting, role and discipline aligned. So admin, engineers, architects, and support. And it will validate your expertise. So you can validate if you are able to build, design, implement, or resolve issues in a VCF environment. Real world capabilities. They're not badges, they're proven operational and technical skills. So the VCAPs are back. Currently we have 3 VMware Certified Advanced Professional exams. The Kubernetes Cloud Foundation exam, the Automation Cloud Foundation exam, and the Operations Cloud Foundation exam. These exams are 60 questions. You have a duration of 135 minutes. We have multiple choice questions, just like VCP, but we also have drag and drop questions where you have to put topics in the correct order. But what's new is we also have these hands-on simulations. And that is an assessment that will definitely test your knowledge and skills. The price is 250 euros and the passing score is 300 out of 500 points. These hands-on lab simulations are new. So in the past we had these VCAPs where we have to sit down for 4 hours in a row, and we had these lab-based exams where you had access to a real lab environment with a very small monitor. But that's not the case anymore. So we don't have a real lab environment. We have these hands-on simulations. So I hope this is, it scales better than those lab environments. So you often had issues that the lab was not available, or you ran out of time, or something went wrong and you were not able to complete all the assignments. I have heard a lot of horror stories, and I also set down the NSX and the vSphere VCAP, so I know where you've been. I hope this is an improvement. Okay, so let's take a look at these 3 new VCAPs that were recently released. The VMware Certified Advanced Professional Cloud Foundation vSphere Kubernetes Service exam is Kubernetes as a service in the VCF platform. So vSphere with Tanzu is installed in a workload domain, and it's enabling the delivery of Kubernetes as a service in your Cloud Foundation platforms. You should have hands-on experience with Kubernetes, with container networking, with storage. This is a tough one, especially if you are not working in a containerized world. But I think everyone eventually will work in a containerized world, because the whole VCF product is also based on containers. You will see that the VMware by Broadcom will step away from virtual appliances that are delivered as ready-to-run virtual machines, but more and more components within your VCF platform will run as containers in your VCF Kubernetes as a service platform in the future. So this is definitely an exam you should look at, or a track you should look at. Because this is where VMware eventually goes. Another exam is the Cloud Foundation Automation exam. So you may be familiar with ARIA Automation. Well, this is the automation in Cloud Foundation, called Cloud Foundation Automation. And it allows you to specialize yourself in building a catalog, building blueprints, offering those catalog items through the service broker, work with orchestrator. So there is a lot of things going on in the backend when you want to offer your customer these catalog items. And if you are responsible for automating the delivery of the infrastructure or application services, then this is an exam you should definitely look at. This is one on my agenda for the near future. Another exam is the Cloud Foundation Operations exam. And don't underestimate operations. Operations is used for day-to-day operations, and it's not monitoring your environment alone anymore. It's also managing your environment. So troubleshooting, lifecycle management, it's done from Cloud Foundation Operations. This will be the leading UI, the leading user interface to manage your complete VCF cloud. In the future, the vSphere client will disappear, and the functionality of the vSphere client will be transformed into Cloud Foundation operations. Also, the SDDC manager is something that will be transformed into the fleet management of your Cloud Foundation operations. So this is an important building block in your whole VCF private cloud. This is the real single pane of glass. If you look at your management and operating your VCF environment. So this is aimed at administrators, at cloud operators, at engineers. This is, I think, a mandatory one also, if you want to work with your VCF cloud. So those are the 3 exams that are already available, but look at this. This is the scoop. This is new. We will have 11 VCAP exams in total. And not all VCAPs are aimed at a discipline. Some VCAPs are aimed at a role. So when we go from left to right, of course you have VSP and VTSP. That's for the salespeople and for the solution engineers. Those are foundation level accreditations. But we also have professional level exams. So that's what the exams we saw earlier. VCP VCF Architect, VCP VCF Administrator, and VCP VCF Support Certified Professionals. Everything is role-based in the new in the new exam release from VMware. So the architect can do VCP VCF Architect first and then do the role-based VCAP, the VCAP Architect. An implementation expert can do the VCF Administrator first and then do the VCAP Administrator. And a support specialist can do VCF Support first and then do the VCAP Support on top of that. So those are the 3 VCAPs that are tied to the role. We also have 9 additional VCAPs that are tied to a discipline, to a specialism in Kubernetes, in compute, in storage, in networking, in operations, in automation, in cyber compliance, and even private AI will be a VCAP that will be released. We only have 3 VCAPs now. Automation, operations and VKS, but the other VCAPs will be released in the coming months. So that's an interesting list with certifications. 11 VCAPs in total. VMware Certified Advanced Professional Exams. With simulations, with choose all that apply, with put in the right order, with sequencing. Those are tough exams. But they are not so expensive as they used to be. I believe they were like $400 or $500 in the past, but it's now only $250. Okay, so that brings you to the advanced level. You can go a step further. We can go into the VMware Certified Distinguished Expert. And why do we have a new name? What is the change? We're stepping away from Certified Design Expert and we're now entering the Distinguished Expert. We were familiar to Design Expert. For maybe 15 years ago we had John Aristrid passing VCDX 001. Of course Duncan Epping is VCDX 007. There are a lot of people are VCDX certified. Those numbers still count, and we're counting on top of the existing numbers. So you can become a distinguished expert, and you will be like number 350 or 400. I don't know how many there are currently. The numbers are preserved. The name is not. The name has changed into distinguished expert. It's not longer design only. The audience has expanded. We now have VCDX for architects, administrators, and support specialists. We have a broader mission. Leadership in the private cloud, not just a solution design document. So in the past it was very tight, very aimed at presenting your design and defending the design decisions that you made, but we're stepping away from that. Why do we have the evolution? Well, the modern private cloud adoption has accelerated. Everyone's stepping away from public clouds. We're moving back to the private cloud. We want to have more control. It must be sovereign. VMware experts are now operating across design, operations, automation, lifecycle, and support. So we see that there are multiple roles involved in managing your private cloud. And the program is now targeted at professionals. They're shaping the future of the private cloud. So that's why we have new distinguished expert tracks. So if we look at the key differences between old and new, we have VMware Certified Design Expert, design-centric certification, heavy emphasis on architectural documentation, review and defense, and it was targeted at a solution architect. That was the design expert. With the distinguished expert, we have multiple roles: architect, administrator, support specialist. It's platform-centered. The Cloud Foundation is the core. It has broader recognition in leadership, innovation, and real-world experience. And the defense remains. So we still have to defend ourselves for a panel of VMware employees, but the defense will be more role-based, and the defense is not defending your design anymore. If you are going for an administrator or a support role, you have to, for instance, do a demo in your proof of concept environment, or they will introduce a problem in your lab and you have to fix something live while this panel is discussing the solution with you. So the evolution of the VCDX is expert level certification by role. So we have a VCDX VCF architect, administrator, and support role. It has become a distinguished expert. And if we look at the summary of changes, it is aligning through these three roles. The VCAP the VCAP certifications are aligning to discipline and role-based specializations, and the VCAP path is required for VCDX. And I will explain how many VCAPs you have to pass in order to go for the VCDX in the next slide. But before we go there, first the benefits. Industry recognized. It's an elite certification. You will have early bird access to future products and beta releases, and it is exclusive, as you have exclusive participation in partner technical advisory boards or customer technical advisory boards. You have exclusive participation in VCDX community events, and there will be much more. So what do you need to do in order to become a VCDX? The first step you need to take is pass a professional level certification. So choose your role, architect, implement or support, and then pass one of the professional based exams. So in my case, I still can choose between architect and administrator. I think that I will do support anyway, but you have to choose a role. And then the hard part. You have to pass the VKS VCAP. So the VKS VCAP is mandatory. The Kubernetes VCAP is not optional. Besides that, you also have to pass 2 elective VCAPs. And you can choose which one you are most comfortable with. Automation, networking, storage, private AI. And you can choose two technical VCAPs. And then you have to pass a VCAP by role. So architect, administrator, and support are the 3 choices we have. So one step is pass VCAP, VKS, and choose 2 discipline-type VCAPs. And then we have to pass a VCAP based on the role we choose. And then we can enroll in the expert level and perform our role-based defense. It can be a design defense where you have to still send in your design, and then you have to tell the panel why you made certain design decisions, and they will ask you several questions about your design, and that's where you are defending your design. But if you choose for implementation specialist, at expert level you have an as-built review, so you have to show the data center you have created. This is the live demo where they will ask you to navigate through your environment and to show what you've built. Or we can also have a case study review for support, and they will introduce a problem and they will ask you to fix this problem, and they will see which steps you take in order to make it working again. So those are the role-based defenses, not only tied to design anymore, but also to your capability. So if we recap this path to a distinguished expert, we first have to pass a VCP exam, a role-based VCP, foundational VCP, VCF platform knowledge. Then we have to pass 3 advanced and 1 role-based VCAP. And we can specify in any key technology. Kubernetes VCAP is mandatory. And then we have a live defense. And in the live defense we do a proof of the deep architectural understanding, we do proof of advanced troubleshooting and problem solving, or we have to do proof of strategic leadership and impact in real world environments. So another program that's similar to the VCDX is the Broadcom Knights program. It's invite only. It's for technical vanguards. It's for individuals, not companies. You are awarded as a top partner professional, deep technical mastery. You have to show that you had customer impact, you have ecosystem leadership, and it's exclusive to Broadcom. You get exclusive access to Broadcom contacts, you get roadmap insights, and you also will have early enablement if you are a Broadcom Knight. So the core objectives is strengthen the partner capabilities. So what Broadcom wants is that a partner is not only selling licenses, but they are bring an add-on value. So they can help the customer with implementing the product in a correct way, in a validated way. So you have high quality delivery for enterprise customers, and eventually the Broadcom Knights is a trusted group of field experts, and they are able to represent how the products from VMware are implemented according to the best practices from VMware. So what are the elements of the Broadcom Knight program? It's invite only, so you're not able to apply, you must be nominated, and acceptance is required. It's based on proven knowledge, on your contribution, and on real world performance. It's based on a good design, so you have to write a design, you have to show that you have architectural leadership, that you're able to create an end-to-end solution. It's not just showing that you have deployed something. You have to focus on validated reference architecture, the best practice implementation from VMware. The certification is structured in a competency, so role-based and advanced-based certifications are available. You have to pass the VCAP, the VCP, the VCAP exams in order to become a Broadcom Knight. So it's the same path to a distinguished expert. The same exams are also tied to the Broadcom Knight certification. Walkthroughs must be shown. So you have to provide lab access or a demo environment or a POC simulation, and then you have a technical walkthrough with Broadcom engineers, and you have to show them how your design has been implemented. So you don't have to defend your design, you have to show which design you've written, but you will have a walkthrough where the Broadcom engineers will ask you questions about your deployment. You need to have a sponsor. Yeah, so a partner organization or Broadcom leadership needs to sponsor you in order to become a Broadcom Knight, and you will have revalidation. So after 1 year, you have to do it again. You have to keep your certification up to date, and this is not something that you earn once and then it will stay for life. You have to keep your skills up in order to stay a Broadcom Knight. Another thing you can do for preparing for these exams is using AI. And this is a good example where I've used ChatGPT to create a question for the design exam, the VCP design exam. What I've asked ChatGPT is create an exam question about vSAN. It has to have a stretch cluster. I want to throw in a distance, I want to throw in latency, and the customer also wants to have fiber channel and NFS storage. Create a question with 4 possible answers, and yeah, let's see what happened. So the question is, as a VMware Cloud Foundation architect, you design a vSAN stretch cluster. Mission critical workloads are hosted on this cluster. The customer wants to have 2 availability zones with 120 kilometers apart, connected through dark fiber, and the customer is asking us, is the site-to-site latency acceptable? And they also want to use their existing fiber channel SON and NFS array to support the same protected workload domain. Okay, interesting. So, which answer is correct? Well, answer A, a stretch cluster supports distances up to 150 kilometers as long as the replication traffic uses fiber channel and NFS to mitigate latency. Woo, we can rule that one out. That one is wrong. Answer B, a vSAN stretch cluster is acceptable if site-to-site latency is under 5 milliseconds. Well, that's correct. 120 kilometers is typically too high, especially if you have a few routers between those 2 locations. Fiber channel and NFS storage is not supported for vSAN stretch clusters. Well, that one sounds as a possible good answer. Let's look at answer C and D. In answer C, they say the vSAN stretch cluster will function normally because vSAN uses asynchronous replication and does not have any latency restrictions. Wrong. Answer D, a vSAN stretch cluster is not recommended only when latency is above 10 milliseconds. Below 10 milliseconds, fiber channel or NFS storage can be used as secondary storage. Oh, that's also wrong. So answer B is the correct answer. What I did is that I took this question and I've used DeepSeek, ChatGPT, Gemini and Grok to answer this question. And it's not about the correct answer. It's about reasoning. So when you put this question in one of these AI engines, you will see the reasoning why this AI engine has chosen for a specific answer. The reasoning is more valuable than the answer itself, because within the reasoning you will see why answers are wrong and why answers are correct, but also the information that's used to make that decision. So you will learn much more from the reasoning than from the answer itself. You have to be careful with these engines, because if you don't tell them that this is about VCF 9, they will also look at information that's tied to VCF 5.2. So you need to have some good prompting skills in order to get the correct information out of these engines. But it's a whole new way of preparing yourself for the exam. And when I put this question in those 4 search engines or those 4 AI engines, DeepSeek and Gemini were the best performers. They gave the most comprehensive and accurate reasoning. They correctly identified the latency requirements. They explained storage limitations. They provided detailed technical justification. Though DeepSeek and Gemini were definitely outperformance. But again, be cautious with AIs. For exam preparation. There can be version confusion between 5.2 and 9.0, but also make sure that you always look at the very detailed PDF that the Broadcom website is hosting regarding VMware Cloud Foundation. It's like 9,000 pages PDF that contains all the information from VCF. So that's definitely the single place of truth. So make sure that that you always verify this information against the official VMware documentation. But what I want to tell you with this example is that the reasoning is more valuable than just finding the correct answer. The explanation will teach you the underlying principles, and you will learn why answers are incorrect. You will develop critical thinking skills that can also be used for real-world scenarios. Memorizing answers won't help you in a production environment. Maybe you can pass the exam by memorizing answers, but it definitely won't help you in a production environment. So my recommendation is use AI as a learning tool, not as an answer key. Always verify the information against the official VMware documentation. Pay attention to version-specific requirements and don't rely on AI solely for exam preparation. So it's not about exams, it's about roles. So the new VCF certification model, it's not a checklist. It's a career framework. It will build around you. You as an engineer can use this framework to show your expertise. We have to shift from a collection of badges on Credly to real-world capabilities. Roles first: sales, engineers, architects, implement, support. We can choose from all those roles and become an expert in that role. We have a tiered path. We start with an accreditation, we go to VCP, we go to VCAP, we go to a distinguished expert. It will prove your experience, not memorization. I want to thank you for watching this video, and you should definitely visit my website www.ntpro.nl and put something into the comments on YouTube. Thanks for watching.